Welcome you students. In this video lecture, we shall discuss about moment of inertia of an area. Okay. In the previous chapter, we have a study about the centroid. Centroid is nothing but the first moment of an area. So this moment of inertia of an area is also can be called as the second moment of an area, right? It also can be called as second moment of an area. In short, moment of inertia can be called as MOI. It's a moment of inertia. So they will be calling area moment of inertia, right? Fine. So moment of inertia is nothing but, I can say, moment of inertia of an area about any axis is the product of the area and square of distance. Okay, product of area and square of distance. Moment in the sense it's a force into distance. Am I right? Force into perpendicular distance. Instead of force, we are considering an area. So here it can be called product of area and square of distance, since it is a second moment. Okay, since it is a second moment, it's a square. So I can write here moment of inertia of an area about any axis is the product of the area and square of the distance of center of gravity of the area from the axis. You will get what it is telling. Okay, so for example, I just going to consider as just an object. Okay, this is an object. Okay, so I'm going to draw the axis. So this is x axis and this is y axis. If I consider this is OX and OY. So in this axis, I just going to take the moment of inertia for only a particular space, right? For this particular space or particular spot, I just going to take the moment of inertia. So I just going to consider this area as dA, and the distance of this spot is from the OX axis, which is y, and from the OY axis, which is x. So here moment of inertia, as per this definition, I can say it's a product of area into square of distance. If I consider the distance as here, for example, I'm going to say if I consider it as x, then it is be h square, or if I consider it as y, then it will be y square, MOI. Okay, so actually this moment of inertia is very important parameters when we look into the design part. Okay, before knowing this, just I want to say what it is. Moment in the sense, we know it's nothing but ability of the body or any kind of stuff to rotate. Okay, moment in the sense ability to rotate. Inertia is nothing but resistance to change of state. It just experience the resistance force, right? So here moment of inertia in the sense it's a property of resistance to rotate or bend. Okay, property of resistance to rotate or bend. So any kind of structural object we gonna construct, or any kind of machine elements, anything structure element, when we are going to design it, definitely moment of inertia we must calculate it, because it's a property of resistance to rotate or bend. By knowing this, we can just produce a very good structural design. Okay, so here just we're going to take the moment of inertia for this particular object. Okay, so here if I consider the moment of inertia about x axis, so moment of inertia about x axis, right? Okay, so I can say I y which is equal to about x axis, right? So I x which is equal to, I going to take moment of inertia of whole area. Okay, so the area I just going to integrate it, so it will be dA, the smaller area, the area which is dA into, it's a product, right, into h perpendicular distance, so it will be y square of its perpendicular distance, right? And if I consider moment of inertia about y axis or y axis, okay, whole area, right, then it will be I y which is equal to integration. If it is, I just going to give it for the smaller spot, so if you want to get it for whole, you just integrate it. So dA into product of x perpendicular distance square. So here the perpendicular distance is x square, for y axis x square, for x axis y square, its perpendicular distance. Can you able to understand it? I hope you are getting it. Just keep it in your mind. Moment of inertia of an area is nothing but second moment of an area. It's a product of area and square of distance. Now we have lot more simple geometric shapes when you get into the area. So I have formula in order to identify the what rectangle, square, triangle, right angle triangle, circle, semicircle and quadrant. So I have displayed here. So here rectangle, so we know the shape of it. So length I have taken it as b and breadth I have considered it as h. So igx in the sense nothing but ixx, it denote igx in the sense ixx. So here iyy is nothing but gy. So after having the what that calculation and deriving igx or ixx is calculated for the rectangle bh cube divided by 12. Here in igy or iyy, it is been calculated as hb cube divided by 12. Okay, here bh cube divided by 12, here hb cube divided by 12. And for the square all the four sides are equal, so I have considered all the sides as a. Okay, this is the or the centroid or center of gravity of the object. Here igx or ixx is a power 4 divided by 12, and it is all the four sides are equal, so igy as well, a power 4 divided by 12. And for a triangle, have considered the breadth or the length as b and height as h. Okay, so here the formula will be for igx bh cube divided by 36. Okay, here hb cube divided by 46, just an opposite of it, just like a rectangle. Okay, just look into it. And right angle triangle, so here it is, and length is taken as b and the height of the right angle triangle is taken as h. Here the formula is bh cube divided by 36, and here bh cube, here the formula will be hb cube. Okay, hb cube divided by 36. That's the difference, don't commit mistake. Bh cube divided by 36 and hb cube divided by 36. And for the circle, the diameter is the measurement is a diameter. Okay, all the four sides we can take it is a diameter. Okay, so here for igx it is pi d power 4 divided by 64, and as well igy or iyy which is pi d power 4 divided by 64. And semicircle, I have taken this is a with full length, so diameter, and this is with what the radius, vertical distance. So here in the igx 0.0068 d power 4, and for the y it is pi d power 4 divided by 128. Okay, so for the quadrant in the sense of the semicircle, right? So this is a quadrant, all the horizontal and vertical it shows the radius. So here in igx 0.055 r square, and for igy 0.05 r power 4. Okay, so this is the basic shapes or the basic plane figures. So if you know the moment of inertia of an area for this particular shapes, then when you're having the compound structure or compound shapes, then by dividing or splitting down, you can just even calculate the entire moment of inertia for the compound element. So please just learn those formula, it will be helpful. So keep it in your mind, just moment of inertia of an area or second moment of an area, in the sense it is nothing but product of an area and square of distance. Okay, square of distance. Next is a theorem of moment of inertia. So here we have two theorems, parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. So first let us know about the parallel axis theorem. Parallel axis theorem. Right. So parallel axis theorem, it states that the moment of inertia of the plane area about any axis parallel to centroidal axis is the sum of moment of inertia of the area about the centroidal axis and the product of area and square of distance between two parallel axes. So here, in order to understand, I just going to take the object. Okay, so for any object there will be a centroid at the mid of it. So this is the centroidal axis, this is the centroidal axis, x and y, it's a centroidal axis C. Okay, fine. So according to the parallel axis theorem, if I consider an axis for from the object something like this, if I consider it as A, B, okay, so I can say the moment of inertia, it is given the moment of inertia of the plane area, that means plane area IAB, moment of inertia of IAB, which is equal to the sum of moment of inertia, okay, sum of moment of inertia IHG, right? Moment of inertia about the x-axis IHG or IGX, moment of inertia IGX, sum of moment of inertia, so it is a plus, and the product of area and square of distance between area here it is A, just going to consider this area as A, and product of its distance, that means if it is xx, the parallelly I have drawn a axis which is AB, that to the particular axis will be a height. Am I right? So I have drawn parallel, it's a parallel axis theorem, so I have drawn a parallel to xx which is AB. Between there will be a measurement, right? I just going to consider it as h, so that h needs to be put here. IGX, sum of moment of inertia, plus product of area into the square of distance between the parallel axes, both the parallel axes, right? Fine. So it is for AB. If I consider any of the axes just like this, which is parallel to YY, so here I just going to take PQ. So I can say the moment of inertia of IPQ about the axis parallel to YY, which is equal to the similar fashion IGY plus sum of product of area, its area, into the square of distance between. So here if I consider it, this would be the distance between the parallel axis PQ and YY. So this would be the measurement. Here I consider here as well, I just going to take it as H, so that square. Okay, so this is the parallel axis. It is very easy. The moment of inertia of the plane surface about the axis parallel to the centroidal axis, the about the axis taken is just parallel to the centroidal axis taken which is just parallel to the centroidal axis, which is equal to sum of moment of inertia of an area, that particular moment of inertia, and the product of area and square of distance between the two parallel axes. So if I take the horizontal x-axis, so this would be the distance, and if I consider the vertical axis YY and PQ, then this would be the measurement. Okay, and the next one is perpendicular axis theorem. It states that the moment of inertia of a plane lamina about an axis perpendicular to plane lamina and passing through the centroid is equal to the sum of moment of inertias of the lamina about two mutually perpendicular axes passing through the centroid and in the plane of the lamina. Okay, so that means I can say, just I will start with an diagram, example diagram. So this is the object, just consider it is an object. I just going to show the three axes, x which is y, and this is the z. Okay, and here I just going to consider this is the exact spot we going to recognize for the study. Okay, and this is the point which is a centroid, so I can say this is the distance y and this is the distance which is x from the O. As per the statement given, I az az, that means moment of inertia of the plane lamina about the axis perpendicular to the lamina, the axis z which is perpendicular to the lamina, and this measurement here is z. Okay, the perpendicular to the lamina and passing through the centroid, this axis is passing through the centroid, this is how. So that which is equal to sum of moment of inertias of lamina, sum of moment of inertia of about two mutually perpendicular axes. So here x and y are the two mutually perpendicular axes. So IZZ which is equal to IXX plus IYY. This is the statement given in the perpendicular axis theorem. It is so easy. Moment of inertia of plane lamina about the axis perpendicular to the lamina and passing through the centroid C, which is equal to what the moment of inertia of other two mutually perpendicular axes IXS and IYY. So here IXX which is the moment of inertia about x-axis and IYY is the moment of inertia about y-axis, and IZZ which is equal to moment of inertia of z-axis. Okay, and this perpendicular axis theorem can be otherwise called as, or IZZ can be otherwise called as polar moment of inertia. Polar moment of inertia. Okay, and this can be denoted by the letter J, polar moment of inertia can be denoted by the letter called J. Okay, so this is all about the parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. I hope you understood the entire concept of the moment of inertia. Thank you so much.